Hi, I'm Becca Miller. I first want to thank the World Parkinson's Congress and Eli Pollard for inviting me to speak today and for organizing this virtual version of the Congress. The Congress has meant so much to me as a place where I've met other people with Parkinson's and connected with others in the Parkinson's community, and I'm so excited that this new online virtual platform allows for greater access for everyone. Thank you to Fulvio Capitano for moderating this session, and I'm honored to be presenting alongside Heather Kennedy and Larry Gifford. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about living with PD and raising a family. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease 7 years ago at the age of 39. I had symptoms for about 10 years before that, and I was diagnosed when my daughter was 9 months old, following what I thought was pregnancy-related carpal tunnel syndrome, but turned out to be PD. My daughter and I live in New Haven, Connecticut, United States, where I work full-time as a psychologist at the Yale University School of Medicine. I live in an old 3-family house near a park and a bar and a little grocery, and within walking distance of my daughter's elementary school. My immediate family is me, my 8-year-old, and our 2 cats. Yes, the number of felines are equal to the number of humans in my household. With such a small family, it means that my chosen family, my extended family, my family of friends and acquaintances are super important to me in managing everyday life. And the cats, as it turns out, are not so good at housework. When I decided to have my daughter on my own, before any specter of PD was on the horizon, one of the big pieces of advice to me was ask for help and accept it when offered. Someone wrote that in a card given to me at my baby shower. Well, excuse me for saying, but I hated that advice. Asking for help, and as it happens, exercise, those were and are 2 of my most challenging areas of growth in life. I don't like doing either of them. So of course, as it happens, I find myself in a situation, and with a disease, where I have to ask for help, a lot of it, and I am supposed to be exercising all the time. I kept the card from my baby shower that had those words on them. Ask for help and accept it when offered. I put the card on a bulletin board in my kitchen to help remind me. Like when I had the flu and asked friends to take my daughter to school. When I can't get the laundry up from the basement and ask my neighbors downstairs to help me. When I had an emergency appendectomy last year and I had to ask several friends to have my daughter stay with them. When my meds aren't working and I ask for help picking up my daughter from school. And when a friend offers to take my daughter hiking for the afternoon, I accept. When a friend offers to make me dinner, I accept. When someone offers to carry my groceries, I accept. It's been a slow but steady process of weaving a safety net of relationships and people into my life to help catch me from the inevitable falls. I haven't actually fallen from PD yet, not in the literal sense, but I know it is coming. This is a degenerative illness as much as I try and forget that sometimes. And in the metaphoric sense, I am more than bruised from hitting the ground many times. I know I have to vary who I ask, keep the circle big, as I don't want to burn out any one person. I don't want to be a burden. I ask and I accept. At least I keep trying to practice. Ask for help and accept it when offered. Hard questions come up like, who will be my daughter's guardian if I am not around? Who will take care of her if I don't make it through DBS surgery? Who will make medical decisions if I'm incapacitated? My adulting and my asking for help has leveled up. I am in the advanced class, and these are not hypothetical questions, so much as real, immediate ones that need answering with DBS surgery on the horizon. It's not like it's brain surgery. Oh wait, bad comparison, but at least it's not rocket science. These are questions that no parent wants to ask themselves, and many avoid the questions for as long as they can. But the reality is too close at hand for me to ignore it. So I am slowly forming my team and asking for help to plan ahead for this. And the funny and beautiful thing is, most people are honored to be asked. It took me a long time to figure that out, even though I know I feel honored when someone asks me for help or sees me as important enough to support them. Why is it tough to see it from the other side? I'm still asking myself that question. The COVID pandemic really threw my safety net out the window and made me realize how much I relied on a delicate web of supports to keep my family managing and afloat. I lost all household help and all help with my daughter. I took on the job of fixing 3 meals a day, doing homeschooling, doing all the cleaning and housework, and still working full-time while managing the stress of the pandemic. Looking back on surviving this past year helped me realize that, 1, how lucky I had been, 2, how much support I'd really had, and 3, that I was still resilient and could handle more than I knew I was able. One of the things that helped me get through that dark spring of 2020 was remembering that when I felt at my worst, if I can turn around, pivot, and try and help someone else, it makes me feel better than I can imagine. During last April, we set up our dining room as a mask-making station. This was during those early days when in the US, there was a shortage of any kind of masks for people. My daughter ironed, I sewed, and together we put together 40 handmade masks to be given out at the mental health center where I work. That put a serious dent in the helpless feeling early on in those days. I was reading a note from my daughter's medical record the other day. After her annual medical checkup, it said in it, "Mom has talked to daughter about PD." There is so much in that short sentence to talk about that it won't fit into this presentation. Mom has talked to daughter about PD. Yes, she has lived with it her whole life. There is no avoiding the PD elephant in the room, and a limping, shaking elephant is even harder to avoid. How to avoid the topic when your mom sometimes uses a cane when walking you to school in the morning. How to avoid it when you're sitting on the couch watching a movie together and mom's shaky leg is annoying. "Stop it, Mom. Stop doing that," she'll say. Sometimes we gang up on PD. She and I. We talk about how annoyed we are at PD, how frustrating PD is, and that we wish it would just leave already. And sometimes we have fun with it. When I am having dyskinesias, we talk about dyskonesia, borrowing from Tom Isaac's lovely play on the word for dyskinesias. We got a small disco ball that spins and flashes, and we use it for impromptu dance parties in the living room. We especially like to dance to Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping, "I Get Knocked Down, but I Get Up Again," or Sufjan Stevens' "Love Yourself," or lately it's been Shakira's "Try Everything." And then there are painful, bittersweet times, like when we watched Joe Biden's presidential acceptance speech this past fall, an exciting moment, and not just because she got to stay up past her bedtime. As Biden was talking about all the people he wanted to represent, he included people with disabilities. "Mama," my daughter said, "he's talking about you. Isn't that so great?" We had talked about how Trump had made fun of people with disabilities, and she was beaming that Biden was different and had mentioned her mom. I forced a smile and said, "That is amazing," but inside I felt bittersweet that she had to learn at such a young age about this. And at the same time, I'm proud of her becoming a young advocate and someone with empathy for those who are struggling. PD and raising a family? Let's not kid ourselves. It's damn hard raising a family. It's damn hard having PD. And adding the two together sometimes feels exponentially harder, not additive. I think it's important to acknowledge that and be honest about the real everyday challenge that there are, that we as parents with PD face every day. But raising a family is also a beautiful thing. The joy of dancing with my daughter, the pride I feel when she wants to donate her allowance to WPC, the tenderness of her goodnight hugs, the sunshine of her good mornings. Add PD in the mix, the joy is that much more precious. So here's the takeaway. Weave your safety net and don't be afraid to ask for help, a lot of it. Love yourself and try everything. Living with YOPD and raising a family is hard, but doable. You'll get knocked down, but you'll get up again. Ask for help and accept it when offered.